Welcome back, everyone, to the King of the North. This is the final of the second qualifier we have on these online qualifiers for the grand final at Manchester on the 2nd of March. We have a big game coming out between two massive teams on the Newell circuit. University of Birmingham TCM Storm versus Huddersfield White. I am Sam Winterbottom. You can call me Sam, that's fine. And I am casting today with this amazing final we have lined up with Trid. How are you doing with Trid?
Doing excellent. I feel at home. These are two teams I am greatly familiar with. They've dominated the Newell season, so it's nice to see some familiar faces around. Will Birmingham? I guess Birmingham would need to go to the final to fulfill the forever second meme. So, really looking to them to live up to that one, so they can move on to the final. But I think we're just about ready to jump into Champion Select. So, I mean, you must have seen a couple of these teams now, Sam. What do you think? What is your prediction? Let's put some predictions on the line.
Yeah, so I'm coming pretty fresh. You know, most of my knowledge of these teams comes from previous King of the North tournaments. However, I've seen University of Birmingham before, and they were at our final last year. Maybe not the same lineup, but we know that they have credibility. They're a very, very good team. However, I have seen Huddersfield twice today, and both times they've done exceptionally well. They tend to just turn a switch, and then when that happens, bam, turn it. And it's turned with a combination of Cats in that jungle applying massive pressure, usually with a combination of Christian armor. Both times there's been the bot lane of Huddersfield have just out of nowhere turned the switch, bam, get a few kills, take a few towers, and then the lead starts rolling in. So my expectation is for Huddersfield to sneak a win.
Huddersfield to win. That would certainly be a mix-up as my prediction. I think the TCA Storm are going to take this one away. But the bans are coming in pretty quickly at the moment. Kindred, Fiora, and Poppy all have been taken off the board already.
I am so happy to see Kindred off of this lineup. Cats, as I say every single time that Huddersfield have played, has just done such a brilliant job on Kindred. So what will he play now? That's the big question. Fiora as well. A comfort pick for a lot of people at the moment, very, very in meta, and that will make the top lane a little more interesting for a watch. And as we do see Poppy and Elise coming through as well, again, Poppy and Elise, both bringing a lot of flex to the table, not necessarily target bans, though the Elise probably a target ban against Silwa on the University of Birmingham side.
Yeah, Callista being taken off the board for Chris as well. Chris has played that a couple of times, but I wouldn't say it's his best champion he's produced. I mean, I think that's more to stop the Kalistar bot lane that Chris and Armor can run, and they have done in the past. Rather than take away the Cal, take away the Callista, and it might not be so bad. And then Huddersfield White, they take Lulu off the board just to round it off, and Daddy locks in the gangplank straight away.
Well, yeah, no question. Seems pretty happy with that pick. I don't know if he's comfort with that, but of course we know Gangplank's going to be absolute monster if this game goes late. It does have some potential counters, but with Fiora off the board, it does leave him slightly safe, and he doesn't have to worry about a silly strat like we had last week of the Zizra, Portal, Nasus, and Udyr. So a great pickup. Could be going in the mid lane potentially as well as the top lane, so we'll have to see. But I would suspect it in the top lane with that teleport.
Absolutely, and there we go. You leave Alistar up for armor. He's gonna take the Alistar. He's hovering it already. They might be just taking it off the board straight away. He's so good on Alistar. Like, every time I watched Armor play Alistar, he's done a really good game. Cats eyeing up the Grago as well to take into that jungle. A very different champion to the Kindred we saw him play last game. So, two beefy frontliners taken off the board. Nyx was joking around in the team select about if anyone bans his Jhin, he'll do something that I'm not going to repeat to them. So, I don't know if he's messing around, but if he locks in that Jhin, that would be so exciting. Because I haven't actually watched or casted a full Jhin game yet.
Right, so we had a Jhin game early in the day last week, but it didn't quite go to plan, didn't really work out for them. Does take a bit of skill, Jin. I think the problem that a lot of AD carries tend to have with him is he doesn't play like a standard carry. However, we do have the Caitlyn, a lot safer, bringing that rage to the table and happily laning with the Braum, which is a standard pickup against an Alistar. They go fairly even, but as you said, Armor's Alistar is really, it's something special. We've seen him do very well, and Alistar at the moment, we've seen him pretty much every game, very of the meta, of the moment. But it'll be nice to see a Gragas, and nice to see what Ayaz Cats will do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So they've got a nice bit of range going on there. The immediate tank front line that I touched on with Huddersfield White is present already. And you've got a Braum he's obviously got that tank role filled for Birmingham at the moment. Daddy's filling a more damage role. I would like to see another tanky member go out. So I think that Birmingham might have to go down for a more tank jungler route this game in order to round out their composition.
No, I think you're exactly right, Trid. The problem with Gangplank is whilst he does bring a lot of damage and tends to go somewhat tanky, he's not really the mega tank in your team. I mean, that's why Braum is such a good pickup, but you're likely to see some sort of Bruiser-esque jungler coming out just to stack their team, especially when they're going against an Alistar and a Gragas as a front line, and also a Gnar. Nice pickup. Haven't seen a Gnar recently, but of course we know that when played well, when you time the ultimate, when you time the bar, can do extremely good things, especially around the Baron pits and the Dragon pits of that sort of style of play. Ezreal, again, very, very safe. We've seen Chris do pretty well on Ezreal, as well as other players in the tournament today.
Yeah, so he's locked in there, Ezreal versus Caitlyn. I'm fairly certain Caitlyn wins that out early, but Ezreal's just become such a scaling monster when he starts to get his items going, so he definitely is going to be a threat for Huddersfield White later on into the game. Gnar in the top lane against the Gangplank might have a little bit of difficulty with that matchup for the same reason that Ezreal might have difficulty against a Caitlyn until it hits late game and they just get outscaled. There's the tanky jungler we were looking at, Rek'Sai being picked up for Silver, and then we have Nyx returning to form on that Lux again.
Yeah, this will be my first Rek'Sai gamecast today. I have been calling for a Rek'Sai all day. We've been getting nothing but Elises and Nidalee, but there is Queen of the Jungle Rek'Sai, and also Nyx on the Lux. Extremely good on the Lux. We've seen that before, and also very of the moment as well. So the big question is then, which mid laner does Sharpie X then pick to go against the Lux? Did play Lux last game as well, so I would suspect not a Zed. Though we could see that Anivia come out and just have a bit of a farm fest in the mid lane.
Sharpie's definitely toying around with the idea. It might be an Orianna. He has got a couple of ball delivery systems in this game to synergize that command shockwave off of. I mean, if he can get it going in with Alistar, Gragas, everyone on that team has the capacity to deliver that ball. Even Ezreal with an arcane shift, if he's feeling ballsy enough, could do it.
Ballsy enough? Is that a pun?
Not intentional, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I think Huddersfield here, they've got a very prototypical team, big front line, massive mage, AD carry. Ezreal with the way he's built at the moment is just an absolute monster as we move on to the late game. And you touched on Caitlyn generally being able to punish the Ezreal early, and that is certainly the case, but given the support of the Alistar armor getting an actual kill on Ezreal, and also taking into account the fact that he has an arcane shift and he's Ezreal, may make that incredibly difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. He's easily going to be able to duck behind the tanky members if he gets an ace in the hole put on his head. So I can see Chris wingling his way and having a little bit of survivability in this matchup. Oh, what's going on here?
Oh dear.
Okay, so Nyx DC'd apparently. So they, rather than start the game and pause, they decided they were just going to play on.
So at this point, I would presume we are just going to quickly reload, ladies and gentlemen. Same picks and bans. I would suspect one of our League of Legends coordinators, I hope, will be doing it for us. It give me a little bit of time just to talk about why we are here today. I I would like first to say a big thank you to our sponsors at the King of the North tournament. They are Twitch TV, The Newell. Thank you very much, guys. They are also providing us with some quality casters. Thank you very much, Trid and Dowsey today. MSI, Gamers Apparel, which I can't seem to get out right. Gamers Apparel. Thank you very much, guys. You are great. I just can't say your name that well. And then Computer Planet as well, who will be there on the day with some gear. And I think they're going to have all sorts of crazy stuff there. We're also going to be having the CSGO tournament, a Dota tournament, and a Smash Bros tournament live on the day, as well as the University of Manchester Gaming Society, bringing lots of swag and lots of stuff to play around with, and various other societies such as the card games and Yu-Gi-Oh! And that sort of thing. Anything geeky, all under one roof. Manchester Academy 1 on the 2nd of March. Come along, it's going to be great fun. And it does look like we he looks like to be resetting his router.
Yeah, not the most ideal situation. I would.
To be fair, that's whatever I do. Whenever I have internet problems, a reset.
I'd personally say we should probably go to a break and resume the stream when we're in game.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. Go to a break.
Bullshit. Tell me who's independent. Thumbs twiddling and your life's escaping your mind. Keep in mind, well, the air ain't as free as it used to be, but that's quite alright when you're still 18. It seems to be, and I'll tell you who's overrated. What's a beautiful person with some hideous dreams? Well, the lining isn't silver. We're verging on the side of the road that'll take us home. The edge of us is getting weighed. Read about your life in your local papers. Realize the end of us is getting near. You're just a droplet of paint trickled off your canvas. Delirious illusion flowing backwards through the river of color while we analyze to try to see it clearer. Secretly appealing to a lonely prisoner. Now what's your vision? Initiate your shading, blend the universe together in time. It only gets a little easier. Suddenly piece yourself back together now. What's your vision? Everybody. However, I'm starting to see this world in the right light, yet it still gets darker. You see, it's just a simple symphony or a painting, whatever. It's a natural path that spans infinitely, but my world is crumbling. Let it collapse into the abyss. In the midst of summer it won't exist. This emptiness, it's just a blank slate, waiting for a painter to interfere. It's quite complex, but what I know.
Welcome back after a very short and predictable delay. Unfortunately, one of our players did have a problem. Probably was with Sky, did have a problem with his router, did have to reset. But we are back onto the Rift now. Same team, same picks and bans. Here, my name is Samuel, or you can call me Sam even, and I'm here with Trid.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. This is the second qualifying final for King of the North. So, the winner of this match will go on to play University of Exeter A at the King of the North event for the Crown Untitled League of Legends, which is all taking place on the 2nd of March. But right now, we have University of Birmingham TCA Storm going up against Huddersfield White for that honour.
Yes, and on the University of Birmingham side, we have the big daddy in the top lane, Gangplank. We then have the Rek'Sai, which will be played by Silva, Nyx on his Comfort Champion Deluxe, Kuznir on Caitlyn, and Overload playing Braum.
Yeah, and throw it over to the Huddersfield White team on the red side. We're going to have Nara in the top lane, Ayaz Cat on Gragas in the jungle, Sharpie X on that Orianna in the mid lane, Kriz on Ezreal AD carry, and Armor playing that Alistar in the bot lane.
Yeah, and all eyes for me are probably going to be on this Armor. Armor's been playing Alistar all day, so I am going to be looking to him to do some big stuff. And again, Ayaz Cat's playing in that jungle role. Been providing a huge amount of pressure using Kindred, but what can he do when he has a big fat man and not a wolf and a sheep?
Pretty different characteristics of character right there, you know, just big fat alcoholic, fairy tale dead girl. I don't know. Like...
Yeah, well, I'm Kindred. Not sure what the backstory is. I just know, you know, lamb, wolf, that sort of thing. Pretty standard starts across the board here. It does look like both junglers going to be starting on their top side, working their way down bot, probably to gank mid or bot at about the 3 to 4 minute mark. Armor taking some harass.
He's got no problem with that because he knew he was going to hit the level 2 first, and he knocks him straight back. The ignite, so he goes down. Heal is also used by Kuznir, so that was actually 2 summoner spells for 2, but the AD carry no longer has access to heal or flash. That's going to be a cue for Ayaz Cats to hit that bot lane fast.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting trade-off that realistically... Oh, we do see a pause. We'll talking Armor, yeah, realistically is going to have those summoners up probably slightly faster than Kuznir, but Kuznir now in a very dangerous position. He is going to have to play extra safe, which is not what you want early game on a Caitlyn. Does look like it's just some lag on the side of Nyx. Should be back in the game shortly with any luck.
We would like to hope so. That he'll be back, because I've had games where I've had to wait out the entire pause duration to keep playing. It's not fun. Anyone? God, no.
Well, of course, I mean, we could always start talking about our favourite songs, you know, like our best dates and our best chat lines if you want to Trid. I mean, I'm always up for that. Or maybe just the, you know, the champions that you like to play in League.
Oh, okay. Well, I will go with the one that people probably most want to know about. It's probably most relevant to this. So I lost my virginity when I was the best champions I'm playing at the moment. So I mainly play jungle and support, and when I was playing jungle, you'd probably see me on Elise, Echo, Amumu, Lee Sin. When I play support, it's really all about Bard. Like, you won't see me playing anything else. Love me a bit of the magical caretaker.
Yeah, our coordinator loves Bard at the moment as well. I've actually not played Bard much. I don't actually own him, but I'm a support main myself. I usually don't tend to go with those super aggressive supports. I know Bard can be played aggressive, but I do like the likes of the owners, the Thresh, the Alistar, that sort of thing. Though, saying that, I'm very, very glad they brought the Alistar change in, because I was always rubbish at the QW.
Yeah, for the average player, that's good, but I feel like, because there's that inconsistency, most players who played Alistar a long time can get that EQ combo perfect. But I think it removes the sign of an experienced Alistar player if you have that skill buffer into it.
Well, this is what happens, right? You play Alistar and you'll be having the game of your life, and then you'll miss one, and then your whole team hates you and turns on you. And this is the joys of solo.
Welcome to League of Legends! You can do everything perfectly, but the second you make a mistake, your team will turn on you.
Yeah, absolutely. We do seem to not much progress it doesn't look, unfortunately. Oh, that's such a shame. And there's Nyx, you know, he's looking to get his place in the final, and he just got problems with the internet. Standard story.
Is there? I'm not familiar with the rules. Is there? Do the teams have 15 minutes of total pause time?
You know what? I have no idea. We've not had much of an issue with pause across the King of the North, which is pretty lucky, I suppose, on our part. We are going to play it by sort of ear, maybe relying on experience, but we are back in the game with any luck.
Well, it's just the general rules that we would usually use is the team gets 15 minutes of the 30 minutes total pause time. So after the 15 minutes is like caused by University of Birmingham Storm, because Nyx keeps DCing, they wouldn't be eligible to pause the game anymore to allow Nyx to reconnect, so they would have to play it 4v5 to play out the rest of the game. That's how it would be done normally, I believe. But obviously it's King of the North, so it's entirely...
Well, we'll have to see what happens. Ideally, we won't have another...
Yeah, oh god, yes, ideally it won't come to that at all.
Hey, and I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Trade, but isn't that your favourite Gangplank skin?
A spooky Gangplank is indeed. You gotta have the ghost. You gotta have the ghost of Gangplank's past. It's how you work.
Yeah, very Pirates of the Caribbean, I would say. Junglers seem to be milling about their own jungle. Gragas could be looking for a light invade here. If something come off on the side of Nyx, is going to shut down the Lux. Going to get even more annoying as the game goes on. But Sharpie and Nyx both looking to farm generally in this lane. It's generally quite safe for both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the scaling late game mages is what we're gonna have in that mid lane. So it's a different kind of wet noodle fight. It's just it's not even a fight. It's like a wet noodle. I'm gonna hide behind this wall, and then maybe when I grow up, I'll come get you. Like that's basically what it is in the mid lane, because they're not playing around with dummy staffs. But there we go. Fundlords are proccing for either team there. Get damage out. Both of them have shields as well, so they can both negate the damage when it comes to it.
Yeah, it's the issue, but it is showing a bit in the CS. Sharpie taking a minor lead, 5-4 CS ahead there. Does look though like Gangplank, UoB Daddy is building himself a bit of dominance, though the CS remains the same, and this is the advantage when you're playing the Gnar. You do have the range to work with, despite the Gangplank barrels, but you know, being ranged makes cancelling these barrels slightly easier, because you don't have to walk up to them to slap them. You can actually cancel them from outside the range of their blast radius, you might say. And yeah, the game does look fairly quiet for now. Ezreal happy to go back, pick up that tier. We'll be going the blue Ezreal build, as to be expected, and begin in their ramp up that is Ezreal in Season 6.
See, I love what Daddy's done here. He's stacked up the bushes with barrels so he can get that instant drop and explosion onto Insect when he comes into range.
Yeah, and it's pretty nice. He's going to know if someone's in those barrels, but it does look like Greg's looking for something.
Yeah, he's been spotted out by a ward though.
Yeah, the vision is there for the time being, Daddy, but it won't be there forever. But it's nice to see IHasCats looking for his standard jungle pressure, but it's not going to be working as well, I don't think, as when he was playing on Kindred. So again, I think this might be an issue for him, given that he's only played Kindred today, as far as I'm aware. In the bot lane, seems to be fairly even. CS being kept fine. Actually, Chris, despite the Caitlyn having a range advantage and generally an early game advantage, is ahead by a slither. We do have just generally quite an even game. Both the junglers have been back now, and the ward, the skirmisher's tracker's knife even, is actually going to come out on Silwa, opposed to the Balmy Cinder coming out on the Gragas. It's going to get him that AoE clear.
Yeah, so the Balmy Cinder is going to help him out a lot more. I feel that Rek'Sai has the potential to have everything he needs in his kit just off of levels rather than items, especially early on. So that tracker's knife is going to help him out. Insect, he's 6 though. He's got the stun. He could have done that where he just pulled Daddy out from under the tower, and it really would have got the kill, but I think he's looking for some return damage before he goes back into mini Gnar form. That definitely gave him the extra CS he needed just to make sure he's buying everything he can when he goes back.
Yeah, no, that's what he needed to do before he went back. Well played by Daddy not to take loads of damage there. Did not want to go in with the massive red side creep wave there, and will just happily farm that under tower, gaining back a bit of that CS difference. Gnar going back, getting him a Jorim's fist. That's to be expected. And UoB Kuznir down in the bottom. CSing as we go. Here's a gang.
Yeah, Nyx, he's got into range. Sharpie just missing the ball for the command shot. He gets it and pulls Nyx all the way back out there. But the cannon barrage is coming down. Sharpie's found himself the recipient of a binding. He's tanking minion waves. Silver's here, forces the flash out. He flashes to follow, misses the knock-up though. And Sharpie's going to walk away. Fires the torpedo, but he gets the first blood with the underground cannon.
That looked like certain death to begin with for Nyx. He sort of just got caught out. Shockwave came out, did a huge amount of damage. There is the Luxalt, but then out of nowhere, a huge amount of damage coming down onto Sharpie X, and he does get caught up by that beautiful, as you call it, underground cannon. I like that. I'm just going to call it that for the rest of the day.
Underground base cannon.
Yeah, Tremor Sense cannon. And yeah, and that's first blood over to the side of UoB TCM Storm, University of Birmingham, gaining advantage early on, and ahead by 1k gold now.
Ace in the hole, just a little bit of damage, goes straight into armor. And it's not going to deter much as Chris is still able to farm up those waves. Only 4 CS behind at the moment, which is nice to see. He's trying to keep up where he can. 2 CS behind.
So, with that little skirmish in the mid lane, you do get an idea of how this game is going to start to go. You see Daddy, he's going to be split pushing off, but he, of course, because his Gangplank does have the cannon barrage, and that can come down, change the course of a fight. It's also quite heavy slow, you have to bear that in mind. So these sort of combos of the Sharpie X with the Lux and the Gangplank ultimate that are big spells that can be used from relatively far away are going to be used to change fights, and it's all going to be on University of Birmingham's coordination to make that work.
Absolutely. He's going to be trading back and forth. I don't think at this stage in the game we're not going to see very much happening without the presence of a jungler, and Silver is very much capitalized on the ganks. It's more than Cats has. Although it has been quite successful to get some of the spells out of Lux. Here he goes again onto Nyx. He throws the explosive cast out straight into the command shockwave. Locks him over there. Sharpie gets a nice chunk of laser in his face. Silver's here. He wants to return, use the tunnels, get in position. Nice sidestepping and a block from Cats. I think Silver could take on the pair of them if they're not careful, but they will disappear.
Cats. Just bringing in the trademark pressure there, is still managing to do it despite being on Gragas, and we did think for again, is this same thing going to happen? Is Silver going to come in and take the kill? But he was just a little late this time, and there's just a bit too much damage thanks to the Gragas ult. UoB Nyx does go down, and that does even up the kills very, very nicely. It does look like a lot of the action is going to be placed on the mid lane now, despite the fact that we thought it was going to be a farm fest. That's very exciting. I'm very excited to see what these junglers can do.
I feel very sorry for Nyx though, because Nyx gets thrown back away from his tower, flashes, gets thrown back again by the command shockwave, and on a mobile champion like Lux, it's just an absolute nightmare. Insect and Daddy going at it, he's dropping the barrel, he's getting ready for the second charge, throwing down the cannon barrage to give himself. Daddy's going to go, Insect's going to go in, he's got the ultimate, knocks him into the wall, the flash comes out to dodge the stun, and Daddy is not where he wants to be.
Beautiful little duel there, loved it. Both champions using, timing their abilities to the perfect degree. Very, very nice saving the bounce to get out of that Gangplank ultimate, I believe it's called the bounce. And no kills traded, but there is a flash down on both of them. Potential fight here. It does look like Overload is going to be happily walking away. It is reaching that part of the game where some teams could be looking for a dragon, but without someone dead, I think it's probably a pretty dangerous game.
Yeah, Silver getting the reinforcements from Overload, throwing out the Winter's Bite, which I don't think is appropriately named when, you know, Braum just throws a chair at someone. I think that's not really Winter's Bite, that's more of just a smackdown, courtesy of The Rock. I don't know, but it just seems inappropriately named for that skin.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, you say Winter's Bite, but it's more of a Winter's Tickle most of the time, to be fair. And Braum, not known for his damage, but it does seem to be going on Chris here.
Yeah, Chris manages to get out though. You know, that got me thinking though about champion spells that seem weird with the skins. Like, cause some of them are fine and they just have a skin, they have nothing to do with like a theme. But then you look at ones like Fiddlesticks when he's got Crow Storm and it's surprise party Fiddlesticks. There's no crows, it's just like confetti.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it makes perfect sense to me. I've seen plenty of crows at birthday parties. But Fiddlesticks gets a pass because Fiddlestick is like a great champ.
Yeah, it's an amazing champion. I think. Can you actually think of any, Sam? Can you think of any that would do that?
That would what? Have that sort of...
Well, no, they just have that kind of like skin contradiction.
I'll get back to you.
I'm trying to think right now.
Ooh, IS Cats and Armor have placed. Armor has made the roam. UoB Daddy, is he going to fall for it?
Well, he's got the slowdown. He does have access to explosive. Oh, the miscommunication! But it doesn't matter. There's so much CC there that Daddy's gonna get it anyway. But the fact that Armor flashed for that pulverized and IS Cats knocked him where he was anyway. I don't know. They're just messing around with each other at this point.
So I did talk about how University of Birmingham are really going to be required to have a good synergy on their ult, and that I didn't think about Huddersfield University, given the amount of CC and displacement they have, how they're going to have even more synergy, and it showed there. I mean, Armor, I praised him at the beginning of the game for being the show pro on this Alistair, but the synergy not quite there today. And when you've got a Gnar, an Alistair, and a Gragas, that sort of communication is going to be absolutely key, and it does leave the Dragon open for the University of Birmingham.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to look towards to go down to that Dragon, take it away very easily with not much resistance. True Shot Barrage does miss it, and still we're just going to smite the safety, but Huddersfield White want to answer their own. They're going for the Rift Herald.
Yeah, that's a perfect counter to this, really. I've not seen many teams really trying to take advantage of the Rift Herald, and generally I think people, just because of the stacking nature of it, tend to prefer going for the Dragon. Also, you have the bot lane there, so there's generally a better presence overall in the map. But the Rift Herald is, I would say, somewhat underrated. You are going to get that pushing power and the extra stats, so that's going to be great. Interesting to see how that gone over to. Probably Gnar, yep. So Insect, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon 2G, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z.
Call him Trick 2G fanboy, that's what he likes.
That's the one. You know, he's got a ridiculous name, so I'm not going to say it. He is going to be taking that buff.
Of course he is. And there we go. IS Cats and Armor going on to Overload. They've knocked him out. There's that displacement again. Glacial Fissure followed up by a flash to get them out, and a Cannon Barrage sends him home. So much wasted onto one of the tankiest members of the team, and they still can't take him down.
Yeah, well, you do have to look for some sort of opportunities when you're in this position. You know, lots of the ultimate cooldowns are fairly low, but you do see the sort of disengage power of Daddy's ultimate there. You know, one Karen Barrage placed nicely, and it's like, well, this isn't worth it anymore. And this is what I really like, just the way these teams are made. You know, one team is they're just big ultimates, and then on the side of Huddersfield, just massive amounts of displacement, like obscene amounts of displacement when you think about it. Yeah. 4 of them have displacement. Like, you couldn't ask for more.
What wins, displacement or Wombo?
Yeah.
One of the age-old challenges in League of Legends. Maybe answer today, Chris. Well, there's a question I don't need answered. What happens when Chris gets caught out by a light binding? He gets chunked. And, you know, he's going to have to back off after blowing the hill. IS Cats finds himself in a nice position, but he's going to get binded just outside of turret range. Command Shockwave and a Dissonance finishes off the tanky Overload, leaving just Silver and Nyx underneath the tower. Armor goes in, nice headbutt pulverized. Barrel comes out, Barrier comes to save, and Chris is there to deal up the damage while Armor is tanking with that unbreakable will, and he's going to escort them out safely. Huddersfield White, they've hit that switch you've been talking about. They've just switched on suddenly.
Yeah, and out of nowhere, the gold lead is completely equalized despite it being 1-4. Very nice pickup, and again, it's that displacement. You think, oh, they've knocked me back once, they've knocked me back twice, I can't be knocked out again. Oh, I'm sorry, Gragas is here now. And this is the issue you have. That's brilliant. They did get extra damage down on the turret there, and of course, once Braum is taken out, Overload's down, there is nothing protecting Nyx, and remember, Lux is super squishy. She may have a shield, but she can get blown up, and of course, when you have an Alistair that can jump in there, that's no issue. It does look, though, like Birmingham are putting the pressure back on Huddersfield now, pushing up the mid lane.
They can't let a minor defeat like that affect the entire game. They do have to still come back strong. The gold lead is relatively equal just because of how the CS and the lanes have worked out. You got to bear in mind, Birmingham do have access to that Dragon that Huddersfield don't. So despite a free kill lead in that mid lane, it's still relatively even, and there's still all to play for. So they can't let something like that keep them down. Yeah,
absolutely. But we do see, I think, University of Birmingham in a slightly stronger position, having the bottom turret already taken thanks to the pushing power of Kuznets' Caitlyn. And that does give them the opportunity to push up the bot lane and then swing over to mid. Gangplank ultimate is used to clear the wave. He has also lost his tower, which does equal the towers 1-to-1. But I would put the warding. Notice the warding, notice the pink wards. University of Huddersfield doing a very good job. They also did the same last game. Just looking a bit stronger in terms of vision over University of Birmingham TCM Storm.
One thing I want to talk about though is IHazCat's 100% kill participation so far. He's very much been the initiator of every skirmish and the beginning of every kill that Huddersfield White have benefited from so far. So he's definitely been playing incredibly well this game to set all of this up for his team.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about how good his Kindred was. Can he translate that onto a big fat man? Seems to be doing so. And particularly nice thing is that on Kindred he was taking the kills, he was building the Devourer, and that was great because you've got another AD carry doing a load of damage in team fights thanks to the Lamb's Respite. However, you're now on the Fat Man, you don't have as much damage, you're playing a tank role, so he doesn't take the Devourer obviously, he takes the Cinder Hulk, he takes the Tracker's Knife for the team vision, and he just gets assists, he doesn't take the kills. Yeah, brilliant play by truly doing great work for his team, and it shows in the fact that they're ahead on kills.
Yeah, absolutely. The only problem that we're going to see is the scaling coming out from University of Birmingham.
Yeah,
I genuinely feel that they will ultimately have they'll level out this power as the game goes on longer. I wouldn't necessarily they would have the lead, but I definitely think it would help them out the longer this game goes on.
Yeah, the scaling game is an interesting one. Obviously, we look to Daddy to be this massive carry as the game goes on. Huge amounts of damage. Is going to be a great split push threat. However, you can't underestimate Orianna. That's a fair point. Generally, the disruption, not necessarily the power, but the disruption that comes out of, you know, the Gnar. As we do see, Ice Cat's going in.
Oh, that's the coordination! The wombo combo from Huddersfield White leaves University of Birmingham TCA Storm in utter disarray. The Gnar just disrupts Silver as he tries to scamper on out of the sheer chaos and whirlwind of clusterfuck that was that ultimate.
Don't worry, there's absolutely no reason to swear. It's fine.
Alright, that was just bliss. Perfect. Absolutely amazing by Huddersfield White.
Hashtag ETS big plays. Yeah, perfect little combo. And we do see like a taste of what's to come. That sort of coordination, maybe they've been saving this team comp for the final because this is beautiful. DC Armor come in after IHazCat's playing his like trademark aggressive style, and that combo perfectly with the ball delivery system, Sharpie X's, Shockwave. Oh, it's just a pleasure to watch that. And I think when you have these big coordination teams, you know, on one side you have the wombo combo, on one side you have the disruption, it's whoever pulls the trigger first.
And Huddersfield White definitely just pulled that trigger.
Yeah,
and I can tell you that University of Birmingham TCA Storm are thoroughly triggered by that.
Yeah, I mean, come on, if you're on the side of University of Birmingham now and you're just seeing that, you're thinking, whoa. I mean, Silver playing on that Rex side is a pretty tanky guy, couldn't even get out of that. He tried to tunnel out, and it's like, no, it's like, nope, not today. And, you know, next thing you know, you're dead. And this is the beauty of this team composition. And personally, I'm just one of those people that really likes to see, like, heavy CC teams because it's just nice to see how that strategy can really screw people over. You have these big, high damage targets like Daddy, but as soon as they're CC, they can't do anything.
Absolutely.
IHazCat could be looking for something else.
He's there. He's got the lack of vision from Birmingham, so they don't know he's exactly in that bush. But there's a ward drop down. He's been caught out there. They know where he is.
Yeah, so
there's a pink ward there. IHazCats. He's cleared the vision yet again. This is quickly replaced by Overload as they do that, but he's in this jungle. He wants that pink ward for himself now, though. Gonna take that out of the way. Silver's coming around from the side. They might be trying to take out IHazCats before he can even start a problem.
I think this is going to be a recurring problem for Birmingham because the reality is, who do they target? IHazCats. Oh, you could see something kicking off here.
Oh, Silver's caught out of position again. They're saving the CC to disrupt. Tunnel goes through. True Shot Barrage actually pushes... No, sorry. The Explosive Cast pushes him out of the way of the True Shot Barrage and to the safety of his team. But all those spells used just force Birmingham off of this objective, as does that Cannon Barrage, and will allow them to protect their tower from Huddersfield White actually taking it or not. as the Huddersfield White are looking to take it anyway. Light Binding lands onto Armor. The final spark comes out. Stun is back. Unbreakable Will is used. Armor's tanking his turret. Insect 2D gets onto the back line, and he manages to use that 9. He's holding up 3 members of the team. Alistar's gone down. The tower has also been departed, and now University of Birmingham, they might be looking to punish this overcommit from Huddersfield White. There we go. Ace in the hole is there. Command Shockwave on the 3 members of the team will lock them up as Sharpie looks to flash over this wall and get to safety.
Woo! Now, interesting turn of events for Huddersfield. I'm not sure why they were staying so long in that tower, pushing it a bit there, and they may pay the price. You did see also in that fight how the disruption can backfire. Gragas throwing one of his targets away from his team. And now, University of Birmingham take the upper hand and are forcing the turrets, potentially actually backing off though. There is leave the towers at 2-1. Dragons are even at 1-1. This tower should go down, you'd think.
No, they got a nice defense going on here from Huddersfield White. The 2 tanky members of the team are here to try and hold this up as much as they can. In seconds, have to go to the top lane to try and stop that counter push coming out from Kuznia as well. So, it's just to think, those combos we've seen have predominantly hit tanky members of the team. If that gets on to Nyx and Kuznia and no one's there to stop them, they're dead. That's it. It's simple. And the fight's over.
Yeah, no, that's exactly, weirdly, like that is pretty much exactly what I was thinking. You're saying Nyx and Kuznia, it's the same on the other side. You know? Sharpie, I mean, Oriana, you know, she's got a shield. Congratulations, you have a shield. You're not a tank. You're going to die. It's the same with Chris, Ezreal. Either one of these carries on both teams, if they get caught, they are so screwed. It's just not even fair. And this is the big question, is these fights are going to be so hit and miss, just depending on the coordination, the positioning of each individual player. And I was just noting, the nice thing about these teams is they both bring a lot of wave clear. Chris does look okay. They bring so much wave clear that it's going to be on teams to engage with huge fights and get massive advantages to really start taking objectives like turrets and inhibitors.
Yeah, Nick's off to the side there. He's looking for someone. Cat flash engage. The true shot barrage does land onto Kuznia, as does the explosive cast. And there's the CC chain. The damage follows up. And it was on a squishy target this time, so Kuznia ultimately will fall to that.
Yes, and are they going to be able to get a tower from it? This is the question. There's still the Oriana wave clear, but she is somewhat alone. Only Silver.
Oh! Nyx finds Chris! And who needs displacement when you can just wombo them with that? Nyx throws out the mastery as well to let them all know.
Yeah, Chris definitely had a facepalm moment there. That was brutal. And it does look like Huddersfield are back off, happy with getting a turret. That does bring them turret lead to 3-1 at the moment, and they do go back. Whacking on the vision, actually. Gragas, as I said earlier, picking up the Tracker's Knife, and they're also going to be getting the upgraded Oracle's Lens. Oracle's Lens also, as you'd expect, coming out armor, and then 3 Farsart totems. So really not looking to get caught out, this Huddersfield team.
They're not looking to it. They're going to play the vision game as Dragon is going to be up in 30 seconds. Cat, he got the Scuttler, and he's got the pink ward down. He's just waiting for a team to start this off.
Yeah, I would expect this dragon to be contested. Both teams have one dragon, seem to be a lot invested in it, and there's no mid towers to be lost. Well, actually, there could be a tower trade in the mid tower if they wanted, but it does look like both want the dragon. Are going to be competing for vision.
There's Cats, he doesn't have no problem there. 007 is just going to be walking wherever he pleases. And apparently they please to go for Kuznia here. There you go, Armor's going to drop on the trap, drops the Unbreakable Will. He's in range for the combo, but it's not needed as Cat brings in the damage with Sharpie. But Sharpie gets absolutely blown up as the University of Birmingham team collapse onto him. But the rest of the remaining members are there. The explosive cast only hits Overload, but that barrel hits a lot of members of the team. Nyx is being slowed down. Light Binding finds no one. Every member of both teams has ended up in that bot lane, and it was a AD carry from mid lane trade.
It's a 4v4 now. What team feels more confident? It does look like both happy to back away. Nyx is coming back into the fray. Dragon is live. Is anyone going to risk taking it, or are they just going to back off, shove the lanes? It does look that way. Daddy versus Insec in this bot lane now. Both towers available.
Daddy's been doing what he can here. He hasn't got the kill damage yet, but he's been getting a load of assists off of his cannon barrage, which has been so useful for his team throughout this matchup. He has got available for it now for this dragon, which would seriously help with Birmingham contesting this. They are aware it's going on, but I don't know if they can actually get there.
Whoa.
Final spark comes out, but it's not enough to get through the smite of I has cats. And that's going to be dragon number 2 going over to Huddersfield White. Oh, as Cats, he finds Nyx. He's been locked up himself before he can CC there. There we go. Command Shockwave brings them back after Insect knocked him away. And there we go. Silver, he's flashing onto Insect. Caitlin's trying to hit the damage where he can, but she's going to manage to back off as well. Chris needs to be careful not to get hit by any CC himself. But Huddersfield White, Dragon and a kill onto Nyx. That's got to be worth.
Yeah, perfectly timed smite by IS Cats there. Good job holding that, making sure that Lux Ultimate doesn't steal it. And when Sharpie X is used his Lux Ultimate, he should not be anywhere near Gragas. They do try and capitalize that, and all that displacement coming together beautifully once again. Chris could find an issue there, but nice jump out. IS Cats back to defend the tower now. University of Birmingham trying to running away with their tail behind their legs. IS Cats, woo! From downtown.
From downtown, and he gets styled on with a flash by Daddy, who just uses the cast to send himself home.
You know, at this point, I just have no idea who's really in control of the game. You know, it's very easy to say Huddersfield are doing a great job because they're combining all this displacement to look fancy, but it might be a psychological trick. You know, you see that coordination and think, oh wow, they're winning. But in reality, the gold is just so close, and University of Birmingham, not to be underestimated, have huge amounts of damage. Easy blue for Nyx.
I has Cats. He wasn't so successful on that smite as Nyx is able to steal away that blue buff for himself.
Game is leveling out for a bit, luckily for us. Teams gathered, though it would say Chris is in the bot lane pushing out, maybe able to get a tower here, but University of Birmingham will look to return with a tower of their own. That mid tower is very low.
There you go, Chris. Yeah, he's on it. Cannon Barrage being used to stop the waves. That ultimate is so anti-fun. It's unreal. There's nothing
had a lot of
gets
anti-fun.
done.
You know, we had the Soraka last game, and now we've got a Cannon Barrage. So, you know, you want to split push. I'm afraid you can't, my friend.
I had Tom Kench one game, Soraka the next, and then a Gangplank. It's been a game of anti-fun champions. I has Cats. He's trying to get range for Nyx. You can see they were on the same page. They blew everything on him. And the flash was the only thing keeping him alive in that situation.
Yeah, well predicted by Nyx, though. Maybe IS Cats telegraphing just a bit too much on the Gragas this time. And that is 2 big ultimates used. So what to do now? Can University of Birmingham capitalize? It's a big question. Gangplank is still not with them. It's happy to go and split push.
Yeah, Gangplank, he's just going to try and deter this top lane push that's been pushed against him. But IS Cats has vision of an explosion cast. This engages the team. Nyx is solo with Kuznia, but Cats is isolated himself. Birmingham are laughing at him, saying, congratulations, you played yourself, as they begin to charge up the mid lane onto Armor. Can they get this stun landed? They can't. The passive is gone. But this is where University of Birmingham Overload going a little bit heavy there.
Yeah, still actually under the tower, but happy to tank it up because he's a big, Rawmy Mexican. Chris, could sign his time to spot.
Oh, he manages to get him with the ace in the hole. No one to block that for him. And there's the Gangplank damage clearing that wave. 2 towers in a row. They're going for a third potentially here if they can just get around the ring. There we go. Light Binding comes out. Full combo onto Insect. Drops into a third of his HP. There we go. Armor, the ball delivery system. He gets 2 members of the team locked up. And it's going to be an ultimate going down. But there's no one here. Daddy tanks the tower. Finds himself another death here. Armor just playing around where he can. But there's still left Nyx and Kuznia available. They're going to have some difficulty here. Righteous Glory being used to get IS Cats into position. The slows landed onto the 2 of them. Nice. There's the CC chain. Sharpie needs to get the ball in there and start dealing some damage before he finds himself dead. Armor. IS Cats, they're on the 2 carries while the defensive power of Rek'Sai is on 2. Sharpie himself, he might not be able to get away. IS Cats, he might have played himself, but the True Shot Barrage picks up Nyx.
This game is kicking off, my friends, and it all came from a stupid ace in the hole Chris getting caught. We all laughed. It was hilarious. But then out of nowhere, University of Birmingham take another tower. And then it goes mental as both Insec and Armor try to defend their turret, combo the disruption, and it all goes absolutely mad. Yeah, well played. After all of that, it's 8-12 to Huddersfield, still slightly on top, but actually behind on goal by 3,000, thanks to the turret advantage and the CS advantage on the side of University of Birmingham, them showing their class here.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. It's so back and forth. I feel like Ayaz Katz is just waiting to go. He's just like, here, we're going. And for some reason, the team is just not on the same page there. And it's often left to Ayaz Katz being isolated not once, but twice so far. And all that engaged potential is kind of put aside by the fact that the rest of his team is either being killed or being zoned out of the fight by Birmingham Storm. So they really need to fix that if they're going to bring this together and win. But their next objective is clearly going to be that dragon, which is coming up in 35 seconds time.
Yeah, absolutely. And both teams need to get themselves in a good position for this. Cannon Barrage is up if required, though Daddy is in the bot lane already. This is the thing, really. You see, when the coordination comes together, it's brutal, but quite a lot of time it might not.
Oh, the light binding still gets him. The shockwave just misses. Insect's about to run out of that Mega Gnar, so he's not very useful. But he's gone squishy as he gets caught out by Birmingham. There we go. Final spark not needed as Kuznia picks up another kill. Coordination is faltering as Armor is about to get stunned as well. Unbreakable Will being used to save his life. Light binding with the CC. Cannon Barrage comes down onto the members of the team to zone them off of it. Armor's going to go down. Teleport coming out for Gangplank to get into this fight to help out. Silver just out of range of the arm barrow, but he's still following on to Ayaz Katz. They've got no mid lane inhibitor turret, so this may be the opportunity to start cracking open this base for Birmingham.
Daddy's here.
Yeah, Daddy's home. Here we go. Their barrels are coming out as they decide to take down this mid lane inhibitor. And they are looking to chase on to Chris. Kuznia's damage is just insane as well.
Huddersfield massively overinvested there. The Gragas is becoming way too telegraphed. They've seen it way too many times now, and it does look that University of Birmingham are very much getting used to it. Nyx almost walked out of there. Ayaz Katz just taking a bit of damage, that's fine. And Birmingham are probably going to be able to get this Baron without any real trouble, and they are now in a somewhat commanding lead, given how well that exchange just went. Inhibitor down on the side of Huddersfield now. Daddy happy to clear out those wards, and the team will now back off. Brawl might be caught out though.
Yeah, oh, there we go. Ayaz Katz uses the flash explosive cast, and Chris with the Q. I can't even remember what the Q is. Either way, Chris picks up a kill off the back of that, and now Huddersfield White are looking for Baron.
This is the power play, you know, just been a bit schooled, so how do you come back, how do you make this transition? But the thing is, they're just a bit too slow. Daddy's going to be there, they're going to realise it's already warded, so they know it's happening.
Yeah, they're going to start ticking away. Going to start ticking away on this Baron. Rek'Sai using the tunnels to get there quicker. They're going to go in and contest this one. Cannon Barrage has been dropped. Ayaz Katz is going out where he can. But he's being focused out. Insect finds two members of the team, following up with the combo. Look at the displacement, look at the damage. And then we see Sharpie, he's been found out by Daddy, and Silver Overload is trying to do what he can. Daddy is now facing Chris and Armor. He might get one, but the CC chain keeps him alive. Insect using that frozen mallet to keep them where they are. Doesn't quite land it though, but despite a perfect combo for Huddersfield White, they don't clear it out, and they're losing so much at the base right now. That's a Nexus turret loss for Huddersfield White.
Yeah, this is the game that University of Birmingham have accidentally, I think, found themselves playing. They've just managed to buy so much time for themselves, and that's very unfortunate for Huddersfield, losing that Nexus tower. Only one tower between that and victory. Mental turn of events there. Shout out to Daddy, who tried to flash over, but Chris just outplaying, managing to survive that fight and killing Daddy off. Doing great work from the backline, Chris, on the side of University of Huddersfield, as we do have our second pause of the game. It'll be interesting to see what this one is for. Lag, someone
yet
says.
Again.
Ooh,
More lag coming out.
Not often you get pauses because of lag, is it?
It's actually very often in the new. It's always lag. It's always down to lag.
Yeah, I mean, lag is this like undefined constant, I think, that people, it's like any sort of problem, some sort of lag, you know, that's how it works. I wonder if it is Nyx again with his router. We shall see in a minute.
Hopefully he doesn't have to reset it. That would be nice.
That's true. It depends on who they've gone with. You know, I've been with PlusNet. I'd just like to throw out a PlusNet thank you. You know, they're my brand. You know, like it's not often that people have a brand, but PlusNet. You know, it seems silly, but whatever. This does give us a little bit of time though to go take a break, pause, reflect, understand where we are in the game, because it has been a bit of a mental one, and we are before we really know it, we're 35 minutes of the game, and it doesn't really feel like that because it's just been all over the shop. We haven't had a chance to reflect on the items. You see Sharpie X on that Orianna, he's already got his death cap, he's obviously gone the Athenes first, and then he's also got the Void Star cutting through the massive stacking magic resist that Silver has bought on that Rek'Sai. On both the supports, standard builds, Locket's coming out, Face of the Mountain, and Eye of the Equinox. I didn't know that name, but there you go. And we do have an unpause now, so we are back into our mental final, the King of the North Qualifier 2. Woo! How you feeling?
Baron is still available, and more than likely that's where the focus is going to be, over who is going to take that away, because there's always that threat looming, especially with such an exposed base for Huddersfield White at the moment.
I think both teams are going to have to think very, very carefully while they go for another Baron attempt, given what happened last time. Neither really coming out on top, and it just generally being a stressful experience for both of them, I imagine. It does look like University of Birmingham are making strides to take control of that area, though. University of Huddersfield happy to push up the mid lane.
Bindings coming out using those scrying orbs. Try and get the vision out of here. Daddy de-pushing the way with his barrels up to 1,100 on the crit at the moment. Huddersfield White have to keep the fight in mid lane to stop this wave from de-pushing, to buy them time to do other stuff around the map.
Yeah, that's exactly their strategy at the moment. They need to wait out this inhib respawn. Once that comes back, once they even the lanes, they're going to be happy. And generally, you know, they have the tools to do that. They have the wave clear coming out of Sharpie, coming out of Chris's ultimate, and that's going to be fine to them. Though this top tower is very much at risk. University of Birmingham could easily force this, and it doesn't look like University of Huddersfield are responding in time.
They're not, because Gragas had to recall, pick himself up the dead man's plate, more armor, more health, more move speed coming out, but they've already taken the outer turret. But they're onto IHA's cat. They know he's hiding in that bush there, and he has to body slam himself out of the fight.
Yeah, I think they're becoming wise to his games now even more every single time he tries to catch them out. And this could be a repeating problem. It does seem like IHA's cat wants to be the main engage. He may well be the shot caller on his team, and if they see the Gragas coming, they just don't go in, and then he can't really make the call as easily. He's looking for something as well. Could find something here.
It's an issue of you've now got Chris in the mid lane trying to de-push this wave yet again, while Huddersfield White try and get vision control of this Baron Nashor.
Yeah, and Daddy gone to the bot lane, going to push that up to the University of Birmingham. I don't think we're going to see any Baron attempts, though someone could get caught.
Oh, Overlord actually got it from IHA's cat, so they've got the Scuttle Crab there, and IHA's cat, he's going to have to body slam over the wall to get himself to safety. You've got Daddy in the bot lane now, split pushing. He's got access to teleport as well, so he could be coming up to this fight. We're just going to keep on that push. Silver takes out the ward and aggroes the Baron for a little bit of damage on himself. I don't think Birmingham want to go for this either. Not just yet, anyway.
No, I think after last time, they're both way scared. They just want to establish the vision there. I mean, University of Huddersfield, they only have one ward in that area now. Daddy's done his job, he's done the split push. It doesn't look like both Daddy and Dragon DBZ want to split push against each other. They're happy to sort of flip and flop, just pushing the lanes back and forth. Daddy coming to the mid lane could see the University of Birmingham team grouping up as 5 now for a mid lane push. That inhibitor is back up, so there's an objective for them. And it worked well last time. Blue going over to Sharpie. Ooh. As we do get a moments of peace now, finally, I think both teams sort of just reassessing, I would say.
Well, it's just very cautious because it's at the point now in the game where, especially for Huddersfield White, if they mess up a team fight, Birmingham have the potential to just go and win the game right now with one Nexus turret available. The inhib's got no protection as well. It's just a very dangerous situation for Huddersfield White, and at the same time, Birmingham have to respect that the team fight coming out from Huddersfield White can be so bad for them if they get in the wrong position. So I has Cats, he's got the Righteous Glory.
There he is.
He forces out the flash with the explosive cast, and that's a little victory for Huddersfield White because they know if they do that again within the next 5 minutes, Lux isn't going to be able to flash out of it twice.
Yeah, massive issue. She's only got the barrier to protect her, really. No massive shields coming out for her, other than the potential Brawn Wall. Though, it does seem like Huddersfield may have found something here. No, don't manage to get past them in time. And we're going to equal up. Nyx could get caught out.
Oh, but Armor flashes onto a True Shot Barrage, and the Command Shockwave sees to that. Nyx, isolated and using a combo. Armor's not going to have any of it.
No, I have no idea there what Nyx was doing. You know, just had your flash blown. You play safe. You don't try to get these picks from the jungle because you're going to get caught out. This could well be the Baron for University of Huddersfield. It would be a huge swing.
Insects found himself isolated. He hops to safety. They
Yes,
back
again.
off of the Baron. Cannon Barrage used to slow him down. Chris using heal to get round to the fight. There's Armor. He's on to Kuznia, but there's no follow-up. Mega Knight hits 3 members of the team. Locks him up. Here comes the ball from Sharpie to deal some damage to the fight. Silver tunnels out to victory. Insect jumps over the wall to follow up as Chris keeps poking with those Qs. They're going to back off and go for this Baron because Birmingham, they've blown so much and they're so low they can't contest. And just look at the health bars at the front line of Huddersfield White.
Yeah, great turn by Huddersfield there again. Aya's Cats making the plays, doing the shot calling for his team, really making those brilliant engages. But Daddy, all the while, is starting to do more and more damage each fight. We see those barrels massively chunk Chris, despite his armor. This is going to be a recurring issue, but Huddersfield have picked up the Baron. The big question is, what can they do with it? And I'll tell you what, Chid, they're probably going to go and get that dragon.
Yeah, get themselves Dragon number 3, get that mobility, and start pushing these waves in and look to close out this match. Huddersfield White, they're suffering from a gold deficit, so they desperately need to get control of this game now and see to it that they can end it off the back of this Baron power play.
Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, pretty soon we'll be reaching full builds, and then gold will become less and less a factor in this, and more about just the team coordination, who can position themselves rightly. I mean, University of Birmingham have consistently done a better job generally of pressuring the map. Daddy has always been farming. It shows in his CS, 411 to 302 on Insects and Gnar. And that's just reality. But
Daddy's caught out. True Shot Large explosive cast. He uses the orange, but it is not K. And the bottom lane of Huddersfield White off the back of Third Dragon are now looking to start taking these towers down.
Yeah, man, he's lacking some serious vitamin D and vitamin C there. And
oh no, he got the vitamin D. No, he got the vitamin D. Like, don't even joke about that. Chris having to use that Quicksilver Sash to get out of a potential death sentence from Nyx. Trying to get wards over because you know Armor's looking to go over that wall again and get Nyx. Because Nyx looks like he could use some vitamin D as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Huddersfield making a brilliant transition. Oh! That Lux ultimate could have been disastrous for Chris there, but this power play is working. They do have the CC, and they do have the tanks to dive this if they want to. We'll see what happens. It does go to
I
low
think they're
health.
just going to settle for the turret and the inhibitor at this point. Insect's just got his Mega Gnar back up. He does have access to his ultimate if they start to chase this down. But Huddersfield, they're going to take the inhib and they're going to look elsewhere.
Yeah, so far, 2 towers in the inhib for Huddersfield's Baron power play. Not a bad start at all. They are going to go back, heal up, get some items. Lots of them turning full build now as you're potentially upgrading that Quicksilver Slash. But just generally, awesome turn of events for Huddersfield now. University of Birmingham on the back foot. The big question is, what are they going to do? And at this point, it's got to be turtle, and wait for that Baron to wear off.
Similar situations being found for both teams. This is what Huddersfield White were dealing with not 5 minutes ago. An open inhibitor down their mid lane. And now it's really up to them to find a creative solution to drag them away from that area and really put the pressure on, and with another objective that they have to defend.
Yeah, I think a lot of this now is going to come down to both Daddy and Kuznia. They are massive carries now, you know, both completing the Infinity Edge. The Dusk Blade finished on Gangplank. You know,
Duskblade of
the problem is as
Drakthar.
well that Kuznia, our favourite item, right? Unfortunately,
Yeah.
no Zed here.
Yeah, Duskblade of Drakthar. It's a very horrible, disgusting item. It's basically a Zed ultimate in a pocket.
Yeah,
Mini
exactly.
Zed
And when you're combining that with the Lord Dominic's Regard, the armor pen from that, and the Essence Reaver, and the Infinity Edge, and the Trinity Force, like you would say, there's just tons of damage. And that's just the reality of it. But if they get caught, there's not much keeping Daddy and not much keeping Kuznia alive. Sure, there might be a luck shield if you're lucky. You might have Braum block something. But compare Kuznia's build to Chris's build. Chris has some sort of a forgiving build. He's built some magic resist in there. He's built some armor in as well. And generally he's a lot more mobile. So if they can catch Kuznia, it's going to be all she wrote.
Yeah. I do like that Daddy has crossed the flame horizon to Insec. It's very refreshing to see.
Yo, that's the thing. I think Insec has to be there. He has to be there to deliver the CC, and he just not been able to farm much because of that. And again, testament to Daddy for putting that pressure on and consistently, and not letting his team fall behind because of that.
Yeah, they're trying to split them between mid and bot and escort these waves in.
Here we go.
Ayaz Cats, they've waited too long. Got a flash out of that from Nyx again, and Kuznia had to use flash as well. Both carries don't have that defensive tool anymore. They come back in before that comes off cooldown. It could be extremely bad for Birmingham, and it could see them being kicked out of this tournament.
Really, we saw this before, Ayaz Cats is happy to go in and just blow those flashes, and this is 5 minutes now that University of Huddersfield have to work with, where both the carries have nothing, and here we go!
Oh, he's got onto Kuznia there! The body slam comes up, as does the CC chain. Chris on the back line, Insect is taking too much that tower, Cannon Barrage comes down, Final Spark gets thrown as well. Armor with the Unbreakable Will is trying to disrupt them where he can. That engagement went south so quickly for Huddersfield White.
Are you kidding me? No one is dying. Insec is still on the back line for some health.
You spoke too soon. Armor has just dropped.
Yes. University of Birmingham with the comeback.
There we go, but Silver, he's found Sharpie Command. Shockwave forces the Zonias out as well. Ayaz Cats is going to try and save Kuznia here, but Kuznia, he's just going to use that ace in the hole. Gets himself another kill. There we go, he's going for the triple. If someone can slow him down, Daddy is trying to get around there as well. Chris keeps getting slow. He's trying to do what he can. True Shot Barrage! True Shot Barrage goes in the wrong direction, and Daddy secures the ace for University of Birmingham.
Man, University of Birmingham really picking up there. We talked about how Kuznia really needed to die, and they got the engagement in with that Gnar ultimate, but then nothing happened. Out came the shield, out came the heal, and he just didn't die, and then he was happy to clean up. He got 2 kills in that engagement. Also, Daddy, again, another one of the carries picking up his kill as well. Now nearly at 500 CS. It does look like UoB could be taking this.
Yeah, they're on to the last Nexus turret of the game. It's only Armor here to try and stop them. He just goes straight for Kuznia. He's trying to keep this game alive, but he's got another 10 seconds before an ally comes. Cannon Barrage comes down. Final Spark goes. That's going to be University of Birmingham. TCA Storm winning out this final in a 48-minute slugfest. They're going to go on to face University of Exeter A at the King of the North live event on the 2nd of March.
Woohoo! That was a mad game for our last game in the day. I absolutely loved it. University of Birmingham pulling the trigger at the very end. Huddersfield, despite all the bouncing around they did and all the acrobatics, just got shut down and weren't able to close out. Absolutely mad. That does mean that we have a University of Birmingham versus University of Exeter in the final. That will be on the 2nd of March, King of the North tournament in Academy 1. I cannot wait, Trid.
Neither can I. Hopefully I'm going to be making my way up there to go and find myself possibly casting. We'll see. We don't know what's going to happen. But thanks everyone for having me today. It's been a lot of pleasure here. Shout out to our sponsors as well. Twitch, Newell, MSI, Computer Planet, and Gamers Apparel. And if you like Leisure Esports right now, over on the Newell's channel, you can go over and check out our wildcard tournament for our Newell live event, also coming up in March. It would definitely be one to watch as well. I'll let you close off the stream then, Sam.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Trid. I would love to thank you very much for casting with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I love the hype that you're bringing to the games as well. Also, my thank goes out to Dowsy. I can never remember, but thank you very much to him for casting out as well. I've been Sam. Trid has been Trid. This is the University of Manchester King of the North tournament. We will be live on March the 2nd with our final, University of Birmingham TCS Storm versus Huddersfield White. It's going to be massive. Thank you very much for listening, guys, and we'll see you then.
Oh,